y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name's Amanda and that was just my bird. So before I begin, you may notice that I have like a little sniffle and everything. So I've been under the weather for a while. It's been almost a month now. I don't know what is wrong with me, and it went away for a little bit and now it's back and I keep losing my voice every morning and it sucks. Okay, so I'm back on the floor. You know what that means. It is another supernatural video. Today's supernatural story time is all about me. Now, I've been promising a lot lately that I will do a story time on my abilities in the supernatural realm, and this is something that it's happened for a long time. There's going to be 3 parts to this because each step gets a little bit more weird, and I want to ease you guys into it because it takes a lot of open-mindedness to be able to kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to start with my ability to see, sense, and read auras. So basically, an aura is a phenomenon where a person's personality is shown through colors. Now, some people see one color, some people see multiple colors, some people see mixtures, and they all mean different things to all different people. So there are a lot of people out there who can also see auras, who may not see the same colors on some people that I see. We may have the same meanings, or we may see the same colors, but they just have different meanings to us. And how I see them and sense them is if it's a lighter color, then it usually has good intentions behind that part of your personality. And if it's a darker color, then you sometimes have a dark intention behind your personality. And it's certain aspects, and everything is very specific to things that happen. In my world and my experiences, auras have changed. Auras have been either corrupted, they have little parts. It's completely weird, and I'm going to tell the story of the first time I ever saw one because I didn't understand it. Now, I'm a person who believes that everybody has some kind of link to the supernatural realm. I believe everybody has abilities in it. You just have to be open to using them. And a lot of people that I know have had experiences with the supernatural, but they don't want to mess with that. I can't blame them, but they don't want to mess with that, so they don't. So they shut it out, they block it out, and that's so easy to create that wall. I call it my force field, and I have ways of controlling that. And it took a lot to train myself to be able to do that. It took a lot to accept the fact that this is just a part of me that I can either look at one of 2 ways. That it's weird and it's freaky and people are just going to judge me for it, or it's weird and freaky but it's also kind of cool and they have a lot of people out there who can do this too. And a lot of people actually find it kind of awesome whenever you can. But I don't like using it to make money, using it to wow people. It's not a party trick. It's something that can actually be very harmful if treated without respect. The way that I see auras is there is one closest to your body. There's the one on the outside of that, and there's either just 1 or 2 on the inside, and that just depends on your personality and how you hide your emotions and things like that. So again, it all changes by person. I've been seeing a lot more of 2 colors. Even I have 2 colors, and that's another thing wildly misunderstood in my life. I cannot see my own aura, but I can sense it. And the difference between seeing and sensing, it feels kind of obvious. In some cases, whenever I feel particularly stronger, and I was talking about this in the video with Joe, and I don't remember if I kept it in or not, but I call them bad days. And it's just days, they're not bad in and of itself, nothing bad happens. It's just days where I feel my powers a lot more strongly than I normally do. And that is why I wear an amethyst bracelet, an amethyst ring. I'm not wearing today. I wear the amethyst bracelet on this wrist, my amethyst ring. I have amethyst earrings. Amethyst is a stone to calm anxiety. I have very severe anxiety problems. And I feel like part of it is linked to that because in those moments, and this is going to be in a different story time coming next week, but in those instances wherever I'm having stronger psychic tendencies and psychic feelings, I call them psychic. It's not psychic, but that's what I call them. But stronger feelings, then I start to have this feeling of having a panic attack. And it's not that anything bad is happening or something scary, but if the mind also, tidbit. So I was in psychology for a year as my major before I switched out of it to the mass communications major I am now. But I also studied psychology a long time because I wanted to understand more about my mind. And the mind, whenever it doesn't understand something, it automatically goes into that fight or flight instinct. Well, my mind will automatically go to a flight, but it will have the fight reactions in my body. So my whole body is just always mixed up, and I will have the want to flee, but the urges to fight, so my body just throws me into a panic attack. So the amethyst just calms me down. Going into the story of the first ever time ever I saw an aura, and I completely brushed it aside as just a trick playing on my eyes because I was bored. So it was in class in middle school, and it was in a math class. Now I'm not a math person at all. I sucked at math so much, like it took me forever to be able to figure out percentages, and then fractions are a whole other story. So anyway, I'm in my 6th grade math class, and my teacher, I'm not gonna call her by name, but my teacher, she was standing by the board. And I remember I was talking with my friends, and she had just called us out, told us to pay attention. So, paid attention, and all of a sudden, I noticed that there is a color around her. And for a while, I'm just like, oh, it's just her shadow. It's just because like she's been in the same place for so long. So I'm just seeing the shadow, and it's just kind of, my eyes are playing tricks on me. I'm zoning out. That's what's happening, right? Well, in this case, it didn't make sense. She's against a green chalkboard, and she is not wearing the color that was around her. She was wearing, I think it was like a green top too. So she's kind of blending in. She had black hair, white skin. There's no reason that the color that was around her should have been there. I also don't know how colors work, but I don't think that she should have had any kind of blue, purple, or red anywhere near her. But these were the colors that I was seeing. Back to the story, kind of pull myself back in. So anyway, so I'm seeing these colors around my teacher, and I remember kind of freaking out because colors are circling my teacher, and I'm just like, I don't even know her that well. Like, I'm in 6th grade. I've had a few instances where I've had dreams that came true the next day and different things like that, and then it started happening where I was having daydreams, and those would come true either later in the day or the next day. And it was just getting really, really weird. And now I'm seeing colors. And whenever you see colors around a person and can distinguish a person as a color, it is very odd. And you can't really talk to someone about that. It's not like you can easily go to a doctor and say, hey, my teacher's purple. And they won't understand that as, oh, well, you know, maybe she's going through something. And they're also not going to say, hey, she can see auras. Cool. No, they say, you are crazy. You might be under stress. Let's go check out what's happening over here. Let's go see what's happening in your home life. Let's go see what's happening in your school life. Something's wrong with you. So I kept that pretty much to myself. And I tried to push it down as much as possible and suppress it. And that made just life, I don't know, it made life very dark for me. Because I kept seeing colors, and I kept seeing people glowing, and then all of a sudden, I could sense things. I could sense different energies coming in, and no one was around. Sitting in a house on your own, and you hear all these different creepy stories of hearing laughing, hearing talking, hearing footsteps. I have a bunch of those on my own, but there are just a lot of these like instances where it was just creepy. But it's even creepier when you can basically feel the presence of a person but not see them. Being home alone and feeling like there is someone else in the house but nobody's at home is a different sensation. So this was a big part of my life that I wanted to keep hidden, and I kept trying to suppress it. And then I met a friend, and I'm not going to call her by name, but then I met a friend who had very similar abilities to mine. So how I can sense things, she can see them. Not so much on the aura, but more on the energies, and me and her both call them energies or different things like that. We don't call them ghosts. She can see them, and she doesn't see them as the orbs that a lot of people jump to whenever they're on different ghost hunting adventures, but she can see things, and she will always let me know, and both me and her can feel them. And having someone that you could relate to on this, it made it a lot easier for me to be able to open up and talk to her, and she was the only one who I would talk to about it. And this is something that I shared with my dad. Me and him both have these kinds of abilities, and it's something that whenever I was suppressing it, I felt like I was losing a part of myself, and I didn't like that. I don't like to feel like I'm not being true to who I am. It's been my whole mantra for the past few years, especially since I went into college, that I just wanted to be completely 100% honest with myself. Ever since I got into college, I've been a lot more open about these abilities and the fact that these things are real. This isn't something that I take lightly, and it's not something that I like to joke about, though it is something that I use humor to kind of cope with. And it's something I became a lot more comfortable with. I no longer see it as something that is weird and freaky and odd in a bad lighting. It's weird and freaky and odd, but to me that is something that is so cool and unique, and I love it about myself, because I always have had this very witchy vibe that is so into nature and feels completely one with nature, and has this weird sense that I could just feel all of these things and never been able to understand it because I was suppressing it. So ever since I started to accept the fact that this is just who I am and this is just a part of me, I became stronger in it. And I've been able to grow in my seeing of auras, and now people that I don't even know, I can see these auras on them and know exactly who they are. And I try my best to not do that. I want to give people the best chance they have to show me who they are, because sometimes, again, auras change, and some people may have a dark aura, but there's a reason that their personality has that dark tint to it. There's something that happened that maybe I don't understand first off. So believe me, in a society where everyone wants to automatically judge everybody, I have a gift that can allow me to judge them pretty accurately, but I just still choose to let them show me for themselves who they are. And it's been a much happier life ever since. I totally forgot to add this in. My ability to see auras has gotten to a point now where I can see auras through video screens. So it's been now that whenever I'm watching people talk in videos, I can start seeing their auras, and it's really cool to be able to do that. Again, I mentioned in a previous video, I've been watching a lot of Loey Lane, and the more I watch, the stronger her aura gets. So that's just another thing I wanted to add in. So they have a lot of these training videos on how to see auras, how to read auras, what to do, so you can be like everybody who can see auras and join in that world. And I don't like those videos because they don't work that way. There's no way to force yourself to see auras. And now, going off of this, so I was watching a video, and I want to say it broke my heart. It really did. So I am a huge, huge, huge fan of Shane Dawson, Rylan Adams, Morgan Adams, Andrew Sawicki, Garrett Watts, everybody, that entire group, everybody in the friend group with Shane Dawson and Morgan Adams and all that, everybody in that friend group, I am a huge fan. And I didn't see Morgan Adams' video about this incident first. I saw someone else who had experienced it before her. And it shattered me that this happened. It shattered me that somebody would do what they did And especially as someone who believes in this very strongly and knows the effects of using it for bad, using it to hurt somebody else instead of helping somebody else, and especially using your abilities to make money, and if you don't make money, then continuously harassing these people. That broke my heart. It destroyed me. I was on the verge of tears watching that video, and it was a mixture of sadness because, yes, it hurt Morgan Adams, and then it had, this woman did something that I can't imagine ever experiencing. She did, I think, honestly, the worst thing somebody could do, because there is points of safety in people's lives. There are points and places that people deserve to feel safe and protected. And it has been something I've always fought for. A person's home should always feel safe. A house is a place, but a home is protection. Watching this video from Hailey Reese, and honestly, I'm gonna put both videos down in the description. Go check it out. Go watch her first video on it. Go watch her second video, and go watch Morgan Adams. What this woman did to them is sick and twisted, and I believe, and Hailey Reese had said the same thing, I believe she has abilities. I believe she has the power. But just because you have it doesn't mean you have any kind of right to use it against people. And especially if these people gave you the time of day and listened to you whenever they really didn't have to. Because again, hearing this stuff, it's odd. And it can be really scary for some people to hear it. So the fact that they listened to you and they actually wanted to listen and they wanted to understand, and that you did all of these things and then continued to hurt them. Now listen, there's no reason that should have happened. And I tweeted out to them, and I was like, listen, I'm creating this video that I'm doing right now, and I'm definitely gonna have something to say about that. I, of course, talk to people about my abilities, and I talk to my friends, and in the next video I'm going to talk about something that I've been picking up and learning how to do. This is something that I could not imagine, and I really wish that I was friends with them at the time. Well, I wish I was friends with them now, don't get me wrong, but at the time especially, because just hearing the story and hearing what was happening, I knew exactly how to have fixed it. And again, it broke my heart knowing that this happened. And I just can't imagine why someone would do that. Why someone would take something that I see as a fantastic gift, something that is so incredible that you can do, and honestly, I see it as a blessing now and not a curse, and use it to hurt people. I just don't get it, and I honestly don't want to get it. I don't want to ever have that mindset and be able to understand why someone would do something like that. So that is my 2 cents on that topic. I'm so sorry to Hailey Reese and Morgan Adams and to anybody else that this lady has ever talked to and done what she did to them. I'm sorry that happened, and I'm sorry that she did that, and I'm sorry that she thinks that she has the right to do that. And now, I don't live in the LA area. I don't. I live in Louisiana. So if I experience something like that, it's probably going to be somewhere in the French Quarter. But if I experience something like that, then there's just something weird going on. But as someone who really believes that they have abilities like that and can honestly kind of do what she did, where I can look at somebody and know stuff about their life that maybe they've never told anyone else before. They're just things that you don't do. For example, you don't make that known to people, and especially in a public setting, like you just, there's so many things in that story that are wrong that happened, and I feel so bad that it happened, and nothing to do with it. It was just something that popped up on my recommended, and it broke my heart that it happened. So I'm sorry to anyone who's affected by her, because that's just so wrong. And if anybody else encounters her, please just completely ignore her. Just look the other way. Don't make eye contact. If she comes up to you, just walk away. Just completely shun that. Do not let that into your life. Don't let it. And I know I shouldn't, like, I don't even have to say this. Like, I'm sure that so many of you know just to, like, completely ignore it. But honestly, just push it to the side. Just completely ignore it. Because that kind of mentality, that kind of negative energy can seriously affect somebody, can seriously hurt somebody, and is very hard to clean out once it's there. So I'll see you next Tuesday for my next little in-depth look into my dealings with the supernatural stuff. And just once again, if anybody comes up to you and they tell you that they know more about your life than anybody else, just ignore them. They cannot be good. So, see you next time. Bye. Hey y'all. I hope you enjoyed that video. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can see the next time I have another scary upload. Click on the video in the right corner to see my last upload. And the video in the left corner is a video YouTube picked specifically for you. Sweet dreams.